I might have just found my favorite guitar pedal ever, and it isn't what you think. If it is your first time here, I teach guitar lessons, I do some gear demos and reviews, and occasionally I'll do some mixing lessons and tutorials. If that interests you in any way, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and give me one of these. It really helps me out so that I can beat all of these algorithms because they all suck. May I introduce to you the J-Rocket Analog Preamp Experiment, or APE for short. Now, the good people at J-Rocket have done something that I don't think I've ever seen done before with a guitar pedal. Even though I'm an artist with J-Rocket, I paid for this with my own money, and I purely just made this video because I love tape delay. All the various pedals and pedal types that I've had in my entire life, delay is probably up there behind overdrive for me. I've gone through 4 different flashbacks. I still have an El Capistan. I used to have a Bell Epoch Deluxe, a Time Factor at one point. Yeah, I'm pretty set, honestly. I'm really, really happy with what I have right now. So, what exactly is it? It's kind of weird. It is a perfect analog recreation of an Echoplex preamp right down to the 22.5 volts that it runs at. And it can take any digital delay and essentially turn it into an Echoplex. So a little bit of history on the Maestro EP3, which this little pedal is based off of. The Maestro EP3 is a legendary tape delay unit, probably the unit that comes to mind, or to your ears, that most, if not all, these digital tape delay units are recreated after and trying to get the sound of. So what a tape delay unit is it actually has a little tape that's inside of it, and it reads and it writes from the tape to achieve the delay. In order for you to adjust the delay time, there's actually a little slider that you can move for the delay time. And you can also individually adjust the amount of echoes, the position of the tape heads. And one of the more interesting ones is the driving of the preamp going onto the tape. And this causes some really, really creamy and nice saturation that just rounds out your guitar tone. This saturation has been used on a lot of records, especially, most notably, ones like Eddie Van Halen, the intro of Ain't Talkin' About Love. Eric Johnson is a huge fan of the Echoplex. Andy Timmons, the list goes on and on. Some people would even just use the preamp section to drive their guitar amp because it sounded so good. So that's a brief history. If you want a more in-depth history, I highly suggest you click on the video that I'm linking in the description down below. Dan and Mick from That Pedal Show give an awesome in-depth history lesson on the Echoplex, the EP2, which was the tube variant, and the EP3, which is the solid state version. Let me talk a little bit about how I'm running this and what exactly this does. I'm currently running everything in and out of my Line 6 Helix. So this pedal, it has the bypass function, and it has an internal loop. And in this loop, you're supposed to put your favorite digital delay. And here I've literally just selected the digital delay, the simple delay as it's called on the Line 6 Helix. It's a mono delay. And you're supposed to set it at 100% wet with one repeat. and you can set it at whatever time you want. And the J-Rocket Ape does everything else. What's interesting about it too is that it already colors your sound without actually introducing tape style delay on it. So here's a little demo. If I'll turn off the loop, this is what it sounds like with and if I were to turn this off, so again, let me turn it back on. So I don't know if you can tell, and I highly recommend that you listen with headphones or good monitors, but it rounds out the tone. It kind of removes some of the spikiness that's in your guitar tone. And I'm running this after the guitar amp, before the cabinet. And yeah, it makes it fuller. Yes, it does make it louder, but it just makes it so rich and so creamy in texture. And then put back the delay. So I want to talk a little bit about the controls. Obviously, we have a mix knob. We can adjust the amount of repeats, and this middle knob simulating the record level of your guitar signal going onto the tape. So if I were to drive this a little bit more, you can hear there's a little bit more distortion and hair on the tape. Another thing too that I really love about this pedal is that it can even self-oscillate just like a real Echoplex would, or any tape delay would, really. So here, let me show you. So if I were to play, if you're a fan of Eric Johnson, I'm pretty sure you know of that Friday Night Lights performance where he plays that amazing intro to Cliffs of Dover. And somehow he's like looping like this intro portion where he's like going, and then that loops as he plays. Of that, most likely he's using an Echoplex because he's known for using them a lot. But he's making it self-oscillate. So if I were to play, tape delay. when you listen to the repeats, they decay very evenly. It becomes a little bit more lo-fi, right? But it's very, very smooth in terms of its decay. So as a comparison, I have the transistor tape model on the Helix, kind of doing the same thing. You'll hear versus the Ape that it doesn't decay nearly as pleasingly. And also you're not going to get the preamp. So to my ears, that one, after like 2 repeats, it just kind of disappears. The magic is kind of lost a little bit. But if I were to compare that to the Ape, it's a very natural decay. Yeah, it's a lot smoother of a decay. It's a lot more pleasing to the ear, at least for me. And just as a quick reminder, this is what the delay that I have feeding it into it sounds like. There's no coloration. It's a perfect repeat in terms of frequency. There's nothing special about it. It's a digital delay. Obviously, it's not set the way how it should be going into this, but it's so you can hear the difference. So, here. That's a huge difference if you ask me. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you for listening. Check out the J-Rocket Audio Ape. I'll have it linked down below. So if you like this video, make sure, again, you know what to do. A little bit of an impromptu video, guys, but just wanted to explore some really, really cool sounds with you guys. So my next video is going to be a comparison between this, the new Line 6 Helix update, which has the tape flutter and the retro reel, versus its old transistor tape setting versus a Valhalla delay, and trying to see if you can spot the difference between each one of those. Alright, thanks again for watching. My name is Sergio. See you in the next one. Peace.